Jack, how big a win could that prove to be?
Look, I think it's significant in the fact that it takes us back to the top of the league. Also significant in the fact that it's against a team that are where they are on merit this season. They have done terrifically well and they're a good side, and they make it incredibly difficult to get something from them. You know, they don't give up points very easily, so delighted with their performance. Not just the second half. People think that because of the way the game went, it was just second half. I thought the whole game we were really good, and I thought we were patient, and I thought we kept faith with what we did, and eventually we got our rewards for it.
You mentioned that they're a difficult team to get points off. How tough a game was it?
It's just as difficult as I expected it to be. Our preparation was for a hard game. They changed the shape, the starting shape from what they've played recently. So that was an adjustment for us as well. And they've got good players. They have good players with really good energy, who have a real desire to play well for the manager, and I think that's evident in the manner in which they play. So to win tonight is as big a result as we've had this season, because of how difficult opponents they are and how well they have done and where they were in the league and the consequences of them winning the match. So a really big win for us.
Probably one of the better performances over the last couple of weeks as well. How did you rate the overall performance?
Yeah, I think the break was good for us. I know we had the cup game after that, but I thought the cup game we were good. I thought on Saturday, although we had to show a different side of our game, we were still getting back to our performance levels we showed early in the season. And I think tonight, as I said, for the majority of the game, I thought we were good. I was pleased with our first half. I had no complaints over our performance first half. I just thought we needed to keep doing that and be a bit more clinical and show that final bit of quality, which they did in the second half. So our record at this ground is very, very good recently, and we did not want to give that up tonight, and I think the players showed a huge amount of desire not to do that.
You went into the break 1-0 down. What did you say to the players at half time?
Well, at half time there's always, you know, two or three or four little parts of the game that are important for players to be made aware of. So once we deal with them, there's a bigger picture, and the bigger picture tonight was, as I mentioned already, trusting in what they were doing. That was the biggest message at half time, was that nothing had to change. They had to continue to try and play in the same way that they played in the first half. And if they did that, then I believe they would create opportunities, and then that final bit was taking them. So I'm delighted that they showed that faith. I think the fact scoring so early in the second half helps that, because it helps them trust themselves and not become ragged and not look to do things in a different way. So for me, I think it was that aspect of it was probably another big step forward for us. I thought Saturday we showed a different side to the game. I think tonight we're showing that again, that were able to trust. They're able to trust each other as a group of players and get the rewards.
McShane scored his third penalty of the season, 3 out of 3 for him. It must be pleasing to have somebody who's good at spot kicks, given the record how it had been over the last year or so.
Yeah, it was a problem for us, in particular last season and even at the start of this season. So actually Ian hasn't had a great deal of experience of taking penalty kicks at previous clubs, but I think he settled into that role, and you know, our preparations thorough at the club, and Jamie Langfield takes credit for that as well, in terms of looking at opposition goalies when they face penalties, and he always passes on advice to Ian. But Ian's got to show the nerve and character to score these important goals like he did on Saturday and again tonight, because obviously the win tonight is the one that allows us to see the game out quite comfortably.
There was a wee bit of a touchline spat between you and the Livingston management team. What was going on there?
Well, I think first of all I would say that probably my celebrations of the second goal were a little bit excessive. I think I'm always fairly frank when I reflect on things, and I probably could have behaved slightly better in that regard, but sometimes you get caught up in the emotion of it. I think thereafter there are other things that go on that maybe aren't my fault, but what I would say is they're just part of the game. You know, I've never had an issue with anything like that goes on or off the park, as long as it, you know, in the 93rd minute, whatever it is, it's done. And I think you could see by what went on at the dugouts at the end of the game that's accepted. As I said, for me it's learning, because I'm still a relatively young manager. Would I like to probably compose myself better in this situations? Yeah, but sometimes you get caught up in the raw emotion of it, and my delight obviously has taken the lead, lended itself to those celebrations. So as I said, for me in the first instance, probably could have conducted myself a little bit better. Thereafter maybe others could have, but that's part of the game.
Just lastly, back top of the league, how happy are you with that?
Really pleased. We want to stay there. That's the hardest part of it. We've been there before this season, and we were there for a couple of weeks, then we dropped off it again. Staying at the top is the next challenge for us, and dealing with being top is probably the next challenge for us. You know, when we were top before, it was a new experience for us. A young group of players that had to deal with that, but I've had that experience already this season, so I'm hoping that as a whole group, and myself included and the staff, that we deal with it better moving forward, and we'll rest properly over the next few days. It's been a demanding schedule, and look forward to a really tough game again here on Saturday.
Thanks very much, Jack.
Cheers, Jimbo. Top man.